All right, welcome to the show, Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. My name is Joseph Atwasing. Welcome to the show and good morning. It's the first installment for the week, and as usual, for 50 minutes, we're set to give you all the latest stories making headlines in the world of sports. Welcome once again.
And happy new month and welcome to the show Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. I tell you for sure, we'll have a whole lot lined up for you today, most especially as the very first show of the week and of the month of May. Now, talking about the under-17 boys, of course, they started their campaign on a winning note against Zambia. But for Rivers United, they finally bowed out of the CAF Confederation Cup after getting a stalemate yesterday against the Young Africans of Tanzania. Now, aside from that, we'll talk about the world of Formula One, where Sergio Perez had a perfect weekend, especially getting a pole position, most especially in some of the races that were taken, talking about the testing races before the main Grand Prix, which took place yesterday. Now, all of this and more is what we're discussing today. I am Nengi Enesademola, and thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, as usual, we'll start from the local scene and start with the Nigeria Premier Football League. And the information we have here is that Gombe United held Bendel Insurance and the Abia Warriors relegated the Kada to the NNL. That's not a good one for the Kada FC. They relegated to the NNL confirmation from the board itself.
And you talk about the match day 16 of the Nigerian Premier Football League. That's a abridged version of the 2022-2023 season. Now, match day 16 of the NPFL continued with 8 league fixtures across 8 stadiums in Nigeria on Sunday evening as the 2022-2023 league season approaches its end. Now, for Group A, I tell you for sure that Enyimba FC of Aba strengthened their Super 6 playoff qualification with a massive 1-0 away victory over group strugglers El Kanemi Warriors in Medjugorje. And the victory over the bottom place team in Group A takes the Aba Elephants to second on the log, 4 points behind league leaders Bendel Insurance, who extended their unbeaten league run to 16 games after a 0-0 draw against Gombe United in another group, a game played in Gombe on Sunday. Now, after their points was reinstated last Friday by the IMC, talking about Remo Stars, they took a huge step into Super 6 qualification by defeating fellow rivals Aqua United in Ikene 1-0. And defender Unduka Jr. Scored his first goal of the season from the penalty spot at the stroke of halftime to move the Ikene-based club ahead of their opponents into third on the log. And somewhere in Akure, the adopted home ground of Kwara United at Deshino Gata's 21st minute strike was cancelled out in the second half by Plateau United as the Harmony Boys stretched their league's winless run to 6 games this season and remain just a point above the relegation places with 2 games left in the season. Now you move over to Group B. The Group B leaders, that's Lobby Stars, hope to cement their playoff qualification with a 1-0 win over Niger Sonethers, while Rangers trashed a relegation-bound Wiki Tourist 3-0 in Aqua as Abia Warriors bounced back from a 3-0 loss to a 3-0 victory over Dakada FC in Umoya. Now those are the results have been displayed on your screen.
Yes, of course, Lobby Stars defeated Niger Tornadoes 1-0. Enugu Rangers trashed Wiki Tourist 3-0. Bayelsa United were 2 goals better than Sunshine Stars, but it ended 2-1 in that. And Abia Warriors, a good win for them against Dakada, 3-0. And we did confirm to you that Dakada has been relegated. And we have 2 more matches to go.
Exactly, for the
so
season.
who makes it to the Super 6 and who joins the likes of Dakada in the NNL.
Of course, Wiki Tourist, I think they have been threatened by relegation also. Probably would soon see them relegating. And when you talk about the Super 6, I tell you for sure the likes of Aqua United, the likes of Bendel Insurance, who have extended their unbeaten run in the NPFL Abridged League this season to 16 games. They are definitely up for a pole position when it comes to the qualification for the Super 6. You have the likes of Lobby Stars, Enyimba FC, and of course, so many of them, both in Group A and Group B. And we do believe that the struggle is still on for them to secure their qualification to the Super 6 spot. While the likes of Wiki, Dakada, we can only wish them the best. Let's see what they can be able to do for the rest of the season, knowing that they will be relegated back to the NNL. We'll see how things pans out to be for them.
All right, let's move to the under-17 boys and talk about the Golden Eagles defeated Zambia 1-0. This is a Team Nigeria on Sunday. The Team Nigeria, that's the under-17 boys, won 1-0 in the first game against Zambia at the Constantine right there in Algeria. And as we speak, they are second on the log, but having 3 points in the bag for the Nigerian team.
Of course, you talk about major competitions like this, and starting on a very right foot, on a right note with a win, I tell you, is more motivation than you can ever imagine. And playing in Constantine, the 5-time world champions dominated the first period, but the Zambian team frustrated all their efforts, denying them access to goal. Now, both sides hit the crossbar, but Nigerians proved to be better side as the half ended in a goalless draw. And also for the second half resumed with the Nigerian side still dominating the proceedings, but the Zambian forwards were also posing a big threat to the Nigerian defense. And Favour Daniel finally put Nigeria ahead in the 77th minute after the Zambians failed to clear their line from a goal-mouth scrabble. And the Nigerian side had the opportunity to put the game to rest in the 90th minute when they were awarded a penalty, but they failed to convert the kick, and the game ended 1-0 in favor of the Golden Eaglets. So now the Golden Eaglets will face South Africa and Morocco in their last two group matches. Joseph missing a penalty and then scoring one, and that goal actually came in the second half. Is this enough performance for them? You talk about the Golden Eaglets here.
We've said this times without number how other countries have improved when it comes to the age-grade competitions. Exactly. It is not business as usual for countries like Nigeria and countries like Egypt to a large extent. So it is no longer business as usual. You saw what Zambia did with the female team at the African Cup of Nations. You see what they're doing right now with the under-17. So it was a very difficult game and keenly contested by both sides.
Exactly.
But then coming out tops in that game shows the resilience and the position this team is at the moment. So they want to win. Nduka Agbade said it's going to be a very difficult journey for them to win the title, as I said earlier, considering the fact that other teams have improved as well. But then the good news is that they have the maximum 3 points in bag. They take on South Africa and Morocco.
Exactly.
And they expect that this gets something. But then the beauty of the competition is that it goes beyond how you qualify from your group stage. There's more at stake. There's the World Cup ticket at stake. There's also the main title at stake here. But then a good start for the boys, and hopefully against South Africa and Morocco, they clinch the needed result to go through. I
think they should be able to beat the South African team now. We also the South Africa team played yesterday. Was it yesterday or on Saturday against Morocco? They lost, I think, for just to a slim goal margin, if I'm not mistaken, 1 or 2 goals. They defeated South Africa. And you look at what South Africa played yesterday, and you know that Morocco is a pretty much advanced team than South Africa. So definitely we should be able to put our acts together and defeat South Africa. And aside from that, you talk about the Golden Eaglets. They liked, I think we saw some kind of passes. They liked dragging passes into difficult spaces that would not even want to enable them to be able to score. But however, I think they can be able to move further past this, because with every of the match, definitely the coach Nduka Agbade must be able to see some weaknesses and some flaws of the boys and, you know, correct them. But hopefully they will perform better, most especially against South Africa.
Yeah, but aside the result, one thing I saw from this team is the beautiful play. They were very, very exciting to watch, honestly. And if you're seeing the highlights of the game, like we're seeing on our screen right now, honestly, it was a beautiful performance from the boys. There was a pattern from these guys, the way they play. They don't just give you the long balls. They walk their way into your box to try and create chances. The Zambian defense were very busy yesterday. And, of course, look at like what we just saw right now. Give it to the boys. But as I said, they're very exciting to watch. I can't wait to see them play again.
Exactly. And for the man of the match yesterday, I think that went to, what's his name? I'm trying to get the name right here. Okay, that went to Yahaya Lawali. And I think it's a very nice one coming from him, as he got the man of the match award yesterday. So apart from getting the maximum point from the game against Zambia, Nigeria's Golden Eaglets defender Yahaya Lawali was also adjudged man of the match for the game yesterday, and Favour Daniel's 77th minute strike, just like we earlier said, gave Nigeria a 1-0 slim victory over the hard-fighting Junior Chipolopolos of Zambia. And following his impressive performance and bustling runs from the right back, Lawali was given the man of the match from the game, and his constant surging runs posed a big threat to the back line of the Zambian side, which found it difficult to handle him. And I hope that they can be able to put up as much impressive performance as they did against their Zambian counterparts.
Well, they have 2 more games, and that's against South Africa and Morocco. They win 1 more, and they're through to the next round. Now, away from that, this is the dream of the Nigerian champions, Rivers United, to reach the semi-final of this year's CAF Confederations Cup has become an illusion. as the team crashed out 2-0 on aggregate to the Young Africans of Tanzania, having lost 2-0 at home to the Young Africans of Tanzania in the first leg of the quarterfinal. Rivers United failed to score when it mattered the most as the Tanzanian side progressed 2-0 on aggregate. Congolese striker Fiston Mayele scored twice in the first leg, played at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo. The second leg was at the Benjamin Nkapa Stadium on Sunday evening, but Rivers United failed to see the back of the net as the game ended in a goalless draw. The result means the pride of Rivers is out of this year's competition, while Young Africans will confront Marumo Gallants of South Africa in the semi-final. No Nigerian team had progressed to the CAF club competitions in the last 5 years.
And just like I said before, and I would always say that nobody saw Rivers United coming this far in the CAF Confederation Cup. I think at this point in time would need to give them kudos, because you look at that game and one major impact was the fact that most of these players were out injured. Most of the star players, if I must say, were out injured, and there was little or nothing that what's his name now, Stanley Guma, could do particularly. But we've always sounded this, that winning your home game, I tell you, has a whole lot of advantage, most especially in a competition rather such as this, where you have a first leg and also a return leg. But that was where Rivers United failed to do their homework, and yesterday it ended in a stalemate, and based on goal aggregate, they are out. But all the best to them. Let's see what they can be able to do concerning the NPFL this time. Well,
the only thing to do right now is to improve our league, which we are doing gradually here under the watchful eyes of Elegbelea. It's sad that you have a South African league having like 3-4 clubs in continental competitions like the CAF Champions League and the Confederations Cup. And Nigeria managed to have one, and at the end of the fumble, they had the chance to get to the semi-finals. All they needed to do, just as you rightly stated, was to get that win at home, or at least get a comfortable result from there. But then they failed to do that. So forget about the stars that were in there. They had a chance in Uyo, but then blew it away. Look at the team Young Africans who were facing in the semi-finals. They've never defeated any Nigerian side. So maybe that would have been enough motivation for Rivers United to get into the finals of the CAF Confederations Cup. But I believe they will go back and get a clip of what happened and see how they perform better by correcting the mistakes.
Anyways, we are waiting to see the very next set of team that will actually represent us for the CAF Confederation Cup. All the best to them. Now let's also talk about a phenomenal woman who plays for a Spanish side. You talk about Barcelona, and definitely you want to talk about Asisat Oshoala right here, because the Spanish Iberdrola side, that's FC Barcelona Femenil, successfully defended their title on Sunday afternoon with a remarkable 3-0 win over Sporting Huelva Femenil. Now, Codina Panades put the home side away in the 39th minute and ended the half in their favor. Meanwhile, the Catalan-based club continued their dominance in the second half and scored the second goal in the 59th minute through Fernandez. Now, Nigeria's Super Falcons forward Asisat Oshoala sealed the game with a third goal in the 89th minute and ensured a full point for her club. And the victory over Sporting Huelva ensured that Barcelona successfully defended their title. You talk about the UEFA Women Champions League, they are there. You talk about Spanish Iberdrola, they are all there. I think they have a wonderful crop of talent. Most especially recognize this one person as Asisat Oshoala, who's doing pretty well. Of course, we saw a handiwork and they've just concluded, was it the Turkey tournament right here in preparation for the Women's World Cup. And I think with this, with what she's doing right now, I think she should be able to take us on throughout for the World Cup also.
Well, of course, a prominent figure when it comes to the national team, when it comes to playing for Barcelona. Don't forget she made that move from Arsenal to Barcelona some years ago, and they might be meeting Arsenal in the UEFA Champions League final, which will be played in some weeks. But then this is good news for what's around the world from here, having these players performing week in, week out. Just last weekend, we also saw the girl that plays for Atletico Madrid right now trying to get a name, but she has been fantastic. Talking about Asisat Oshoala. Congratulations to her winning the title back-to-back. That's a statement to whoever that will be facing the Super Falcons, that Nigeria has got a tough player that can take on any defense in the world. So once again, congratulations to Asisat Oshoala and the entire Barcelona team. And one thing they've been doing at Barcelona as well is that they've invested so much in bringing in quality players.
Exactly.
Now, the Nigerian Football Federation has concluded arrangement to install video assistant referee in regional stadiums. In the country, as plans are underway to train and retrain referees to achieve the purpose. The president of the Federation, Malam Ibrahim Gusau, stated this on Saturday in Ilorin at the National Elective Delegate Conference of the Nigerian Referee Association. Gusau, represented by an NFF official, Malam Mohammed Aminu, charged the incoming leadership of the association to come up with development plans to forecast, organize, and ensure the future of Nigerian referees is properly nurtured and watered towards the growth of the game.
I think it's a very nice one because during the weekend we heard, was it the coach of Gombe United now? We complained about poor officiating in the game between Gombe United and Bendel Insurance, and that was what led to that stalemate yesterday between Bendel Insurance FC of Benin City and Gombe United Club. But I think this is a nice one coming from the NFF this time around, where I get to see, since what's his name now, since he assumed office, that's the president of NFF, Ibrahim Gusau. I tell you for sure he has been able to put some kind of things in place, such as the IMC. Of course, that's one huge factor, that's one huge committee we've seen, and they are pretty doing well in the NPFL when you talk about grassroots football. But trying to install the video assistant referee, it's even a better one because it will help in officiating. It will help ease the stress in terms of decision making when it comes to referees of Nigeria. And we do hope that this would be done as soon as possible and also maintained in due time.
Well, of course, I mean, it's high time we start having our referees officiating major competitions, most especially on the continent. You know, it's sad that the competition like the Under-17 will be going on. You have no Nigerian referee. You have the World Cup that will take place. You have referees from different countries in Africa, but you do not have from Nigeria. And that's based on corruption because they've been found wanting so many times. But then with committees like these, with what's the name about Malam Sani Zubia, who emerged as the winner after putting 53 votes, it says a lot that something is being worked on, and hopefully we get a genuine result as soon as possible. Now that's it from the local scene. Let's go on a break here and give you highlights from matches played in different leagues across Europe. A 7-goal thriller it was at Anfield, but Liverpool triumphed over Tottenham Hotspur. We'll be back.